All right, it is recording. So here we go. Let me hit the share. There we go. It should be sharing and recording. Technology, don't fail us now, right? All right, guys. Thursday morning, January 25th, I think it is. And looks like, all right, everybody's still there. Cool. All right, so PFP update first. We'll start out with this. So for all of you guys, I saved the letter from Bones. I forwarded it out to you all yesterday, and then I saved it into the public folder on tap. I saved it in your June, July, August, September, just all those so you can see them, what they look like. That's just kind of the breakdown and all that sort of stuff of the new PFP system. And I wanted to run it by you guys one more time this morning to make sure we're all on the same page. So we have our two different PFPs starting in July, running through December. Likely to go into at least the beginning of 2021 in this mode. So this will kind of be the new pay system going forward, and this is company sales rep wide, so it's not just on-premise. For the on-prem channel, the monthly PFP will look roughly like what you've got on here. It'll have some variance month to month, but it should be pretty close to this. About 30% of it tied to wine and spirits, about 10% will be non-alc, and about 60% between beer and other type things. The other things for this month and probably the next couple of months will be the draft survey, getting that done early in the month. There will be somewhere in the ballpark of 7 goals is what we're going to be aiming for. This month there are 9, I think, that we've got on there. I'll go over those here in a little bit, and I talked to Tim about it this morning. I'll kind of assuage some of your fears on that. The reason they're so high this month is just because it's the very first month of us getting going, and it's kind of like shotgun blasting everything out there. So I'll go over that here in just a little bit. But that's your monthly PFP, is basically distribution, that sort of stuff, pricing, display, that sort of thing. Then your quarterly PFP, for our team, I set them all up so that it is basically the exact same as your monthly PFP dollar-wise. So you've got every month you get paid the same, your PFP is the same amount, and then every 3 months at the end of the quarter you get a double payment if you hit all your KPIs and all your sales goals and all that sort of stuff. 40% of it is tied to the branch revenue goal. So just like we've been doing the past few months, where instead of us having individual, rep goals and all that sort of stuff, it's going to be it's a branch goal. So if the Kent branch hits the goal for the month, hits it at 100%, then that 40% chunk of every sales rep's quarterly PFP will get paid out at 100%. So as Bone says on here, all for one and one for all. So it's not being set by individual route. If the branch exceeds the goal, so it comes in at 101%, 102, 103%, whatever, then there will be an escalator based on us hitting those branch revenue targets, and then everybody will get paid out accordingly on the escalator. The other 60% is based on KPIs, so 20% will be tied to MVP, another 20% tied to managing your out of code. Obviously, we're going to have a lot of out of code shit we're dealing with for the next couple of months. And then 20% tied to perfect order. Obviously, with out of stocks and all that sort of stuff, we're going to have issues with that too. So, with PFPs, especially for July, and then rolling into August, everybody 100% understands that the on-premise is under difficult and extraordinary circumstances. So it's the moral of the story is going to be do your best. As I was telling Tim this morning, there's not a single person on this team that I'm, worried about dogging it, because and making excuses because things are tough out there or they have accounts closed or anything. I know you guys are out there working your asses off and doing the best you can. Most of the goals and stuff we have set, which I'll go to here in a moment. Actually, I think I have that one here. Yeah. So go over the goals that I sent out last night. Most of that stuff, so Tim brought up, and Eric called me yesterday and brought up similar concerns, saying, how are we supposed to hit goals when 60-70% of my accounts aren't open? We don't have product in stock. We have inventory and it's gone in 6 minutes. All these kind of things that are making it even more difficult than it usually is to get distribution, to hit all these sort of things and stuff. So number one is I 100% understand that all those issues are there, as does everyone else. Like Bly knows. Yesterday I went out and did some MVPs with Bly and with Bones, and we had 3 or 4 hours to discuss all this sort of stuff, to go through it, and I can tell you guys that 100% everyone is on the same page, understanding that it is brutal out there. From, like, you guys are getting it from the retailers, and because we don't have enough inventory, and we have our POS department is running at 30% capacity currently, and it's like we can't possibly set up enough difficult things, and it's tough, and we get it. So for me, as I was explaining yesterday and today, is that the Q goals that I'm giving for you guys, these distribution goals and stuff, are less about making sure you guys are doing your work, and they're more about me having air coverage over the next few months whenever I'm working with suppliers, and they're going to be saying things like, I'm going to ask them for incentives for you guys, right? They're going to say, well, we're down X amount over the past few months, and I can go back to them and say, I've had you guys on goal 2 of the past 3 months. I've been running draft surveys to show that, sorry, there used to be 5,000 tap handles in the King County, and right now there's 500, right, that are even available, because you guys will be doing draft surveys early. I'm collecting a bunch of data on did buys for both states, effective placements, etc., and I'm collecting all that on a week-by-week basis. So all these things that I'm doing is so that down the line, come the end of Q3, beginning of Q4, when, fingers crossed, things are getting back to normal, is that I have some things to reference back to show, here's the goals we set, here's where we were able to get to, here's the draft surveys to show what's actually available out there, all that sort of stuff. And it can better help us plan for the future, because as soon as Q4 starts, I'm going to be doing 2021 planning. And if I don't have some of this stuff, built up and in my back pocket, then it's going to make it a lot more difficult for me to set goals in the future and to make sure you guys get incentives coming down the line and all that sort of good stuff. So, does that make sense to you guys on the PFP piece, on why they are what they are, why I've got them set out there, and hopefully assuage some of your concerns about not being able to hit goals because of things outside of your effectability? Anybody any questions, thoughts, comments, feedback on that piece? Damn, all right. Crushed it. Everybody's feeling super confident now. I'm glad. Yeah, so really these goals, I mean, July, I'm not going to, July is, you guys are a rock star team. I know every single one of you is busting your ass trying to make placements, trying to do the best you can. Our team always crushes it against everyone when goals are set up. You guys always get out there and knock it out of the park. When we had things to do with retailer portal signups, all that sort of stuff, you guys killed it. I mean, literally annihilated every other team out there with getting accounts signed up, and undeniably the most difficult market to get that done because we had so many places shut down. So I know you guys are out there working hard, and I know you're frustrated about the fact that you're trying to sell stuff and we don't have the stuff to sell, and then it comes in and it's gone. I get it. We're working on it, and just the moral of the story is do your best. We're going to track all this sort of stuff. Don't, every week we're going to look and see where you guys are getting on the goals and on your PFP for the goals for the month. And I'm going to be able to make adjustments based off of, I have the autonomy to make adjustments all the way up until into August for July goals, right? So, so you guys just keep working at it, keep bubbling up to me concerns issues, hurdles you're having while you're out there this month and hitting goals. And all that information is, none of us are looking at those as excuses. We literally have, you guys are our only eyes on the street, is you being out there and telling us what the market's looking like, what you're seeing, how things are going, and then we can take that information and we can make better plans for the future. Okay? Cool. For those of you I can see, thumbs up. Well, good. Mostly thumbs up. Great. All right. This is I know I showed this to you guys last week, just showing the another quick glance at the on-premise and ambassador structure. So it's changed already since last time, since this was made. Actually, I just thought of that. Zach got promoted to the off-premise DM for the Stars team. So he is actually not there. I don't see, Liz, are you on the call by any chance? Right. So in the meantime, do you guys want to, Darren, we could just make it easy for you guys to, until we get, I presume we're hiring a third ambassador. We're going to be rehiring for that role. Okay. Cool. We'll see. We'll get maybe we'll look and see if we can make a little more, get this little flow chart updated for 2 ambassadors for a couple weeks, and then we can change it around. That way everybody knows who to talk to. So, but yeah, we'll keep on trucking. Graphics department update. So I saved all this stuff for you guys to the to your June. I think it's in your June, probably in your July folder as well. I'll double check and make sure your folders are all up to date. But as you can see, this is phase 1 that started on June 1st. You can see all the stuff that's not in A. We're running at about 30% capacity in the graphics department. So these are the signs that are available. It's signs and banners only. Getting them through Design Track is the way to get it done. All that sort of stuff. The email that's in there that I saved into the June/July folder has all the details and info on it. I just wanted to make sure you guys had a chance to look at it. I know there's been some issues with getting signage out there. I talked to Bones about it yesterday. Everybody knows. We know we were doing a couple of MVPs yesterday, we're like, and you pull up the thing for features, and it was like, hard to have features when you can't print signs, and we all get it. We know it sucks. And so it was a meets, because real hard to get mad at you guys for not having a sign out there with a feature on it. I'm going to work on getting some real generic stuff printed out. So just the kind of things with, Rainier and a bubble on it, or, Coors Light and a bubble on it, and just having a bunch of those generic type things printed out for right now, and then put into the POS locker in the bullpen. That way you guys at least have something, and you can go in there and you can take a Sharpie and you can write some deals on there and stick those up. So I've got that working on. We're going to see if we can get those out there, and I'll let you guys know as soon as we get them. We also got Taylor, how many were there? Like 10 or a dozen of those Guinness banners that were in there. So there's some nice banners that the Guinness guys got done. Let's say now open, or something along those lines. So they're big ones. Zach Steele took a picture of it and should have sent it out to the team yesterday while we were there. So there's about 10 of them in there. I got them laid out on the floor, so they're unraveling, and so they won't be all crinkled up and stuff when you take them to your accounts. If anybody wants them, go in there and grab them. I would also say check out the POS locker. If anybody's up there, Zach Griffith, I think, is our POS manager. Maybe if you get a minute,